John Tavares is having another solid season for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but with salary cap concerns looming, should the team consider moving on from their captain next year? With big contracts coming off the books and younger talent emerging, the Leafs have tough decisions to make. But before, if you love staying on top of all things Leafs, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The Maple Leafs are actually in a good spot for next season when it comes to the salary cap. With just $6.1 million allocated to goaltending and massive contracts for Mitch Marner and John Tavares set to expire, the team has flexibility. While Toronto might consider re-signing both Marner and Tavares, it's clear Tavares would need to accept a much lower salary than his current deal. Meanwhile, the Leafs also need to prioritize re-signing young star Matthew Knies, who is due for a new contract. Reports suggest that the Leafs are already in discussions with all three players, but they must tread carefully. Locking in big contracts now could restrict the team's ability to make necessary changes if they fall short in the playoffs again, potentially forcing them to trade a player like William Nylander. As much as Leafs fans appreciate what Tavares has brought to the team, it's hard to ignore that he's 34 years old. Although his production hasn't significantly declined yet, it's unlikely he'll maintain his current level of play for much longer. The Leafs need to assess how far they go in the playoffs this year before deciding on Tavares' future. If Toronto reaches the conference finals, it might make sense to bring him back on a team-friendly deal to solidify their depth at center. Personally, I love what Tavares has done for this team, but if he's not willing to take a reduced deal, the Leafs need to prioritize their future. Young talent like Matthew Knies needs to be locked in, and the Leafs can't afford to overcommit to aging stars. This offseason will be critical for the franchise. Should Toronto bring back John Tavares on a team-friendly deal, or is it time for the Leafs to move on and focus on the future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.